All right, let's, since time is not our friend, you've, answered a lot of questions in one fell swoop. But in terms of the coloration of what you're talking about, in terms of, some other issues that have bugged the mind of indigenes coming to this election, of course, there has been the case of having 2 deputy governors, if that is possible. That is on one side. Political issues, a particular senatorial district says that this is our turn and all that. Apart from all that, when you look at off-cycle elections in terms of its unique features, why does it sometimes look as if we pour so many of our, officials into these elections, but by the time we go to general elections, we now look at it that it seems as if they are spread too thin? Should we expect at least better performance at the off-cycle level than what we are seeing, one? And then in terms of what you saw in the 4 elections, if I'm not mistaken, 3 elections, that's the one in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi. Are you expecting some improvements in terms of your interactions with the electoral umpire between that time and now?
I've tried to make this a stakeholder engagement, and the reason I do so is that the activity of the stakeholders impacts on the quality of the election. So if the security agents do derelict in their responsibility, it will impact. If the political parties and their candidates do not see themselves as being responsible for credible election, that will impact on the activities of. So what I've seen in elections is that we are always holding the leg of INEC to the fire and give comfort to these other stakeholders who contribute to whether election is free, fair, or credible. So whether in Akoko Edo, where the new, in quotes, deputy governor comes from, there is a tendency that it will be a bit there are concerns in that area what it will be like. But the bigger challenge for Edo will be vote buying, and that is where, because if you remember in 2020 and then 2016, that was the issue. And now if you move around the states, you hear people say that if they took amount X in 2020, that they will be taking 20,000 now. The security agencies should be ready to ensure that voter inducement is played down. There are fears of federal power, and then the incumbents in the state also dominating those challenges are all concerns that a lot of observers are putting on the table. And then more importantly is the terrain. The current rains and the challenges of infrastructure in Edo State may affect punctuality index.
And some logistics.
Yes, and so, but what is important is that we're already aware of this, and so we cannot use them. We can't hoist the regime of excuses around something that we already know. We need to begin to plan ahead to make sure that those things, we don't have a prepared press statement explaining something that we already know is a challenge, and that's key. Security is key, not from the point of, the campaigns have gone very well apart from the infraction at the airport some weeks back, but generally the campaigns have been relatively peaceful apart from the cult crisis that I talked about. But I think that all the stakeholders who have major role to play in elections must be ready, especially the politicians and their candidates,